Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Welcome to the Pascal Show. I hope you guys are all doing well out there. Enjoying your day, making it a good one, making it a positive one, and all that stuff. Or had a good day. Had a good day. I'm sorry. I'm so wiped out. It has been a long-ass week with these 7-hour streams and everything, but I have been very blessed to be able to go through the shit, if you will. Yes, I said it out loud. I don't care. Go through the shit with you guys when it comes to this trial. It has been insane. It has been a ride, nonetheless. But I'm very blessed to be able to go through with you guys. It's been an experience. I will say that. It has been an experience. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, this one's for the books. But anyway, we got to talk about, do a little recap. We got to talk about a few things, y'all, because, I had some time to let it marinate, talk about this whole thing, put in my 2 cents about all this in my own mind. And I feel like I have a chance now to really say something now. You know what I mean? I need to speak up on a few things. You just saw I have my good friend in the house, Lady Justice in the house. What's
Hey,
Hey,
how are you?
Man, I've been good. Hold up. Let me make sure I got your mic up loud because the music's kind of loud over you. How you doing, sweetheart?
I've been good. Just I'm still breathing, as my grandmother used to say. So
Yeah.
happy to be here.
As my mom would say, hanging in there. I am hanging in there. How are you?
My grandmother was country, so she'd be like, I'm still breathing, baby.
I'm still breathing, baby. I love it. But yeah, it's been a minute since we've had Lady Justice in the house. So I'm really, really blessed to have her in today. She's dope. It's been a long time. She's been doing some things in her corner. And obviously I've been stuck in this purple ass room doing my thing. But it feels really, really good to have you back on the show. Real talk. And we got a lot to chop up, a lot to talk about, which we are going to get into it very, very shortly. So it's great to have you here. Thank you again. So guys, before we jump into everything, before we talk, chop it up, get into these things, okay? Because we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot that we digested today. We're going to go through it all. Well, nah, I'm lying. We're going to try to go through as much as we can. How's that? Because there was a lot that happened today, even with Dr. Hughes and then Amber Heard. There's a lot to digest and a lot to go through. So we're going to be talking about that tonight for a short while. Not going to be on for very long. Why, you ask? Because I'm going to be on tomorrow morning to do this all over again and sit through another not 7 hours. I can't do the whole 7 hours tomorrow, unfortunately, but I will be doing 2 lives, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, to watch a portion of Amber Heard's testimony. Okay. So we're going to be living through it together. Okay. So please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Send those likes all the way up. All right. Show some love. Show some support. Okay, be really appreciated. And if you haven't done it, set it past 100 likes. And if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. Be really great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. You know your boys out here late at night, going in, working hard out here in these streets for that story, not that ass, for that story. Okay, so anyway, guys, we got to get into some things. Like I said, do not forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends about this show, all right? And let them know about the long streams that we've been doing too. Real talk, we've been putting in some work, all right? I've been putting in some work, but actually not only me. I'm very lucky to have the team of mods. I just got to say that because Lady Justice is one of the mods as well. Let's keep it straight funky, y'all. She out here putting in the work and putting in the time. Also, Debbie, all of them. You know what I mean? And without all
Shay.
you, we wouldn't have nothing. Right?
Right.
Okay, I was getting scared there. You didn't say anything. I'm like,
No,
okay,
I said, and Shay,
no,
Shay
it's
is here
all
tonight
me.
too.
Say that again. What?
I said, no, Shay is here tonight too. So just
Oh,
holding it
Shay's
down.
here.
But
My
yeah,
bad.
but the chat has been great. Like, I have to say that the viewers have been wonderful. Like, the chat has been positive. So
Shh, don't say that.
I'm not going to say the other stuff because, when we start to talk about the other stuff, we jinx ourselves.
Exactly. Woo, just woo. No. It's been going good so far. We're gonna keep it that way, I hope. But yes, you are right. We got some of the best mods ever, some of the best mods and best family out here in these internet streets. Real talk. So I am so grateful for every single last one of y'all who have been here, been a part of the conversations, watching all 7 hours, or at least coming in for a few and then leaving and then coming back. It's all good. I'm going to be here. 7 hours is a long ass time. And you can see it in my face. You can see it in my eyes. Okay. I'm beat. I am tired, but I knew that I hadn't had a chance to do any type of recap or any type of anything. Man, like I said, these 7 hours is a sacrifice. I know that sounds really ridiculous, but I have so many other things that I have going on in my life right now that I'm stopping everything just so that to keep up with my promise. I'm just going to say that. Okay. I try to be a man of my word as much as I can. So I'm just like, all right, we're going to do this. We're going to sit through these 7 hours. Yes, I don't really want to sit through all 7 hours. I'm going to be real. But at the same time, I promised you guys that we would do it. And it's been a really, really great time so far. So we got to talk about this. We do. I mean, I got things we got to talk. I got things to say about the doctor too, but we ain't going to talk about the doctor so much right now because the main focus is the main event, the moment we've all been waiting for, and that is Amber Heard. Let me try that again. Amber Heard. Okay, she finally went and took the stand today. Finally. Okay. And we got to hear some very interesting, colorful stories, if you will. I mean, that's fair to say because their story. Does it count as accounts or stories? I'm trying to be fair.
Monologues and soliloquies. That's what we heard.
Thank you. Like I said, looked down at the ground and got back up at the dirty floor and then to be or not to be. Like it was like that. Okay. And I'm going to keep saying it like that till I'm blue in the face or until she comes in tomorrow and like wreck shop and does something different or if she stays with the same rhythm. You know what I'm saying? But we got to talk about this. Lady Justice, let me ask you something, okay? Okay, sweetheart, let me just. Did you believe any of that? Like real talk, did you believe any of that? Like did it work for you? Did it catch you? Did it tug at your heartstrings and you were like I feel for her? You know what I mean? Did you
I don't necessarily know if I believe the negative stuff. I mean, I would say the way she talked about meeting him and the way the relationship started, that sounded a lot more genuine to me than the stuff about, oh, he slapped me. And I was like, oh my God, he slapped me. And like all her thought processes and everything, it just seemed too dramatic for me.
Yes. Yes,
Too
very.
staged, too well rehearsed. And it was, and another thing to me, it felt like it was too well organized. And obviously she's an actress, but I know that when I get into my moments and I'm trying to tell a story, I'm like, wait a minute, no, this happened, and then wait, no, then this happened, and then this happened. I mean, it was just textbook perfect. Like it was read from a novel. Like it was just read right out of a script.
Interesting. It's interesting how you say it was very well put together. It was very much in order. I'm sorry. I smashed food, so I might be burping a little bit here, guys. I'm sorry. Just being honest. So it's interesting when you say that it was well put together, like well. what do I say? In chronological order, like almost perfect to the T. Now, I know that this is one I wish we had Eddie on, that I could rap with him, talk with him about this. Hopefully he'll be on with me tomorrow and talk a little bit more about this as well. But from my understanding, I keep thinking that lawyers get together with their client, the person that they're defending, obviously, or fighting for. I thought they pretty much like rehearse it to the point where it's almost to exhaustion, so that they know, okay, the questions I'm going to be giving you is going to be like this. So just make sure you have everything done down pat in the back of your mind. You know, if backwards, forwards, upside down, if I'm screaming at you, if you're being waterboarded, you know that you will not skip a beat with the story. Because if it's a thing like where you go all over the place, you're like, oh, wait, about this and then about that, then that makes it seem like you're making stuff up or that you're wishy-washy about the details. At least that's what kind of the vibe, what I would think, as far as like if I was a lawyer going to them. You know what I mean? What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're accurate. So, for example, like I remember when I was working with an attorney on a potential civil suit. We ended up settling, but I remember when we sat and I had to do the narrative portion of the story and like how I was impacted, what happened. I remember my attorney telling me that this is going to be like information if we were going to go to court, that we want to have as much detail as possible and to be as consistent as possible. But the goal is for me to just be natural. And I remember when I had to speak to the representative from the insurance company and I had to share my story, there was a narrative and there was pacing, but it was really natural. I didn't reread it. It wasn't over rehearsed. And if there was some information that maybe I didn't, forget on purpose, or it wasn't by omission, but maybe it was a little detail. Like my attorney might just show me the paper and I'm like, oh, that's right. That's right. And then I would tell, but it would be natural the way I would bring it back to that information. So yes, in many ways it is rehearsed. Yes, you do get all of your details out. But to me, there's one thing to know your story. And then there's another thing to be textbook perfect, like to the point where it's a performance. I mean, down to, where Amber was like, and it was just, and I'm fainting. And all of that was just so, like I just said, the romanticizing was just like nauseating. And I know she said she's into poetry and I'm into poetry and I love romantic poetry, but I was just nauseated just listening to it. And like I said, the fainting and the size and for me, it didn't work.
It seems like she's really into like Russian poetry, like just from that whole thing. It was very, self-deprecating and just very love's lost and cold and just, like Russian poetry. Have you ever read Russian poetry? Like translated? It's pretty intense. It's pretty dark. No one?
I've never read Russian poetry, just Russian literature, and that's already dark in and of itself.
You should check it out. Check it out sometime. You're like, whoa, okay. It's very dramatic. Very dramatic. To me, it was interesting to see her talk about all these different things. Obviously, and yes, it was the whole thing of like, oh, me falling in love with him was just like, and I just couldn't, I just was just thrown off on how amazing this man is. And he was just so good. And he would just read poetry to me and give me fine bottles of wine. He was amazing. Like, it was kind of like that. And I'm like, no. I don't know if I feel this. Because I said it during the show. Let me get this thing off here. Dag nabbit. Hold up. We got to get back up here. I said this during while we were watching this. I said, look at how they're setting this up. They're setting this up like a Lifetime movie, right? In the very beginning, oh, he's so amazing. He read poetry to me. He said so many beautiful things. He was like a poet when he talked to me. He gave me fine wines, so many amazing spirits. And then everything came crashing down. Like, it was like that. I don't know who he is. I don't even know who this guy is. Who's Johnny? She said, no one knows what I'm talking about. No one. Short circuit. Anyway, who's Johnny? Oh, come on. You don't know who's Johnny? Who's Johnny? She said, it's old. I don't know why I know that song. Anyway, old movie. No Johnny Five Disassemble. Anyway, moving on. I'm tired. Okay? Just roll with me. Anyway, she goes, who's this guy? I don't understand. I don't know this Johnny. Johnny was such another thing. There's Johnny on Adderall. There's Johnny on cocaine. There's even Johnny on Quaaludes. I don't know if they took a time machine back to the 70s and 80s, but last I checked, didn't think Quaaludes were around, my babies. So weird. So now she's putting out BS from what I've seen. And I know there's some people who feel some type of way about this. But sorry, we got a Kev Z 24/7. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Her clearly doesn't appreciate a good bed. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But the dogs did it. The dogs did it. Pistol and whatever the hell the other one is.
Boo. Didn't she say Boo? His name was like Boo because Johnny held Boo out the window and was howling.
See what I'm saying? Like, how do you, and he was howling. So he takes the dog, puts the dog out in the window. And she goes, and he was howling. Oh, like, what was he doing? Why would he do that to the dog? Oh, but he's an animal person. I'm sorry. He loves animals. What did he want? Oh, stop. All right. I'm sorry. But real talk, she said all this stuff, and I'm like, how? He was
no one did anything. No one did anything.
No one did anything. No. You got to remember. The funniest part of this all is that she still married him.
Yeah.
Still married him after all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
After all this ish, she still said, I do. She still walked down the aisle. Dun, 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 and I don't know what she wore, but I'm sure she wore white. And still said, I do.
And that's another thing too, like thinking about just the testimony that she did today. I mean, she set a lot of it up to demonstrate how Johnny was offering her a life and a lifestyle that she couldn't afford. Like when she talked about, Malbec or the cheap wine that she liked, and he had a really refined palate, and going to his private island in the Bahamas, and the way she talked about him getting upset at this yacht he didn't want to sell. And I'm like, well, he has the money. Why would he sell it if he didn't want to sell it? But just the way she just, or how he treated her parents, and bought her this horse. And she kept going back to, there's just things I couldn't afford, or things I couldn't do for myself at the time. And part of it made it seem like she, I don't know, fell in love with the idea of love, fell in love with money. I don't know. Someone had said it earlier that had cracked me up about, I think I took a screenshot of it. Someone said it the best.
You did.
And I laughed so hard. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, this is what it was. A viewer named Nikki said, Amber is B-U-Y, bisexual. Buy her something and she'll be sexual.
Oh my God.
I thought that was the funniest thing, but it just seemed like facts.
That's hard facts. Because, I mean, Or it's, yeah, I mean, that's that part too. Or it's just whoever gives her attention. She just gives it to you. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. You know what I mean? If you want to give her attention, she's with it. At least that's the vibe I'm seeing. Now, there's plenty of things that go on. Excuse me. There's plenty of things that go on during this testimony that I'm sitting there going, hey, well, I can understand why John would say that. No, I would understand he would sit there and say that too. And because she's been cheating on him since day one. She obviously was expressed or showed him that she was a very sexual being, that she was very open. She even said, I think at one point, that she's pansexual. At least that's what I'm seeing in the chats quite a bit. I don't know. Maybe the jealousy comes from her having a wandering eye on both sides of the fence. She likes men and she likes women. I don't know. It's weird.
You know, and to add to that, one thing I thought was interesting. So I know we're not talking a lot about Dr. Hughes and was it Dr. Curry? I can't remember the other clinician, but thinking about like the diagnostic of histrionic personality disorder, I think is how it's pronounced. Forgive me if I'm incorrect, but
got it.
They talked a lot about like being sexually suggestive, and she pointed to that, like she said that Johnny had an issue with how she dressed, and this is what you want to show the world, kid. Like made it sound like he's some old movie where he says kid, but not only that, even the stories where she tells about the trailer park, and then even like the plane, how like the woman seemed to be giving her googly eyes, and oogling her. But yet, how are these stories all consistent? Like, you mean to tell me that he's just like seeing this out of nothing? And how is it that the flight attendant or whomever seems to be responding to you sexually exactly the same way as the woman in the trailer park? What's the most consistent thing here? Is it that maybe the personality disorder is coming out and that's what's consistent, and maybe she does have a wandering eye, and maybe she is more sexually suggestive, but not only that, they also said that she minimizes her fault, and she did a lot of minimizing, like the cocaine for Johnny Depp, but then I took Laffy drugs, and I'm like, no, drugs is drugs. Like,
that's what it's like. Drugs is drugs. It doesn't matter what if you're sniffing it or if you're injecting it or ingesting it. It's still drugs. If it alters your state of mind, it's still
drugs. Whether it's cocaine or whether it's shrooms or MDMA or whatever it was she said it was. Like, I'm like, you ingest all of this stuff, plus what was it in the report that you would drink, like 3 glasses of wine or 4 glasses of wine a night or whatever it was. So how are you sitting here saying that this person made you uncomfortable, and the clinician, Dr. Hughes, is saying you went to Al-Anon? Look, I had a friend who went to Al-Anon because their partner really was on some stuff, and I remember how it tore her up, but she didn't go run to drugs and alcohol. And so that's my thing, is how are you going to Al-Anon saying, I want a person who's on drugs and alcohol to get better whilst I'm on drugs and alcohol? Like, it just seems really hypocritical. It just seems like she's really minimizing her behaviors, just like Dr. Curry talked about, minimizing her behaviors in a very hypocritical way, but then not liking those behaviors in other people and then pushing their behaviors to the forefront. Like all of that to me seemed at play. And that's what I had said yesterday. Wait till Amber Heard gets on the stage. She's going to show herself. People with, other mental health conditions or personality disorders, just from what I've witnessed just firsthand, especially in the line of work that I do, they have telltales. They can't hide it, right? They're going to slip up at some point.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my Lord. I can. Woo! When she came in and started doing this whole I'm strong whole thing, that was the whole I'm strong thing that she was going with. And yes, Dr. Curry absolutely said that. She was spot on, and you just called that out beautifully, Lady Justice. That's exactly the issue here. She showed that those symptoms in her testimony. Not once did she take blame. Not once. You're telling me that, okay, there was a photo. Let's talk about the photo. Let's talk about the photo, shall we? There's the photo with the metal case that had Johnny's name on it. There was some drinks. There was a pouch, like his med bag, like basically a bag filled with all of his drugs, literally prescription and party, recreational, all here. He had a CD on it. He had lines of cocaine on this glass table. Okay. And then he had a pint of beer. But there was another pint of beer on the other side of the photo. So whose beer was that? Johnny's? Johnny's imaginary friend? So
I remember you mentioned that. Mm-hmm.
It's like, who else was in there? You know what I'm saying? You're telling me those lines of blow weren't for you and him? You're telling me that? You're taking the photo, but you're sitting there going, no, I don't like the cocaine. I don't like the cocaine. I just don't do it. It's not fun. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. I don't do that stuff. I have better things to do than deal with the cocaine. But seriously, in the RN letter, in her notes, it says in her notes, the prescription drugs she takes, the fact that she drinks every day, the fact that she partakes in not only just MDMA, but also cocaine. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Why are you sitting here saying that you don't do this when you clearly do?
Exactly. Yeah.
Stupid. Hold on. I got a member here. Oh, Mrs. Oh, first is Mrs. and then Mr. My bad. Mrs. and Mr. They're progressive. Mrs. and Mr. Steelers. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate it. Yes. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate the support. We're working hard out here in these streets, okay? And I'm going to try to do more of these kind of recap conversations later on in the day after the actual live watch of the trial. So I will be doing this more often. So I appreciate all y'all for coming in and being a part of the conversation, because I know right when the trial is over, everybody and their mama hops on and they got to do their own recap and all that. And I'm like, y'all already seen it with me. Y'all walk through it with me. We'll talk about it later on in the night. You know what I'm saying? So just a little heads up, and I appreciate your support. Okay. But here it is, guys. We need to look at some of this. We need to look at some of this testimony. I know you already watched it with me before. We gotta relive some of these moments. Okay, so we got some stuff here. I might have to scrub because I had to refresh this page to find this spot in this testimony. But I would love for you guys to relive the moment that he allegedly slapped her. After she was asking, what's up with Wino? I got some things to say about the Wino tattoo and her question about the Wino tattoo. We will get to that in a second. Jacqueline Anderson, hello, sweetheart. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Good evening. Good evening to you. Hopefully you're alive and well in your neck of the woods. Okay, let's get into some of this so we can relive some of these moments together real quick. And this might not be the spot, so bear with me.
I eventually told my mom, and let's my defense was
here we go. Wait.
Nothing I could do to calm him down. It seemed like I'd walk away and that would make it worse. I remember in my apartment in Orange, he would grab me by the hair, or he'd grab me by the arm, pull me into him, scream at me that way. He'd smash things around me. Then he would smash things very close to me. And then he would just hit me. Now, first off, I know this is not the right spot, but I do want to play this part because I think this is very interesting. So I will play the other part where he does allegedly smack her for the very first time, it seems like. I will get to that because it seems like that's a little bit further earlier. But this part I think is very interesting. Let's take a listen. It started with slapping, and it got to be like repetitive slaps where he'd hold me in a position and slap me multiple times in a row. then it would be, eventually I later would either push him off of me, or I'd try to hit his hands away from me. I tried to, not in 2012 so much. At that time, I was mostly, my defense was, I'd go some other place. Like, I don't know how to describe that. It was, I'd focus on something else. I'd stand up, look at him, try to stand up to him that way. Later, I adopted other kind of strategies to deal with it. But
so in other words, she would like, what's the word? Clock out?
Disassociate would be the term that clinician would use.
Thank you. Because you have to be the smart one in the room. Fine. So she would disassociate herself. Exactly, Lady Justice. Thank you. Freaking encyclopedia here. Anyway, she would do that. No, seriously, thank you. She would disassociate. Like, she would detach herself from the situation. Almost like having an outside, out of body experience in a way. Or in layman's terms, clocking out. And that's, that is a true thing. I've heard that about people who deal with abuse, that deal with a violent spouse, a violent partner. They will have a tendency to literally disassociate, disconnect, clock out from the situation, almost like they black out in a way, because it's almost like a routine, because they already know what's going to happen. They already know that there's going to be some pain. They already know what's the end result. Oh, like, for example, she's saying, oh, Johnny's mad, and now he's swinging. Now he's throwing his fist. Uh-oh, I just got hit in the head. Clock out. You saw what I'm saying? Lady Justice, you were going to say?
Yeah, I was also going to say that that's also common with PTSD. I know this because disassociation is like my best friend. And that's why, for example, I take DBT to help me through distress tolerance and emotional regulation, to learn how to ground and stay in your body and use healthy coping skills to stay present, so that you can have a larger, I call it pendulum, right? But your window of tolerance can expand and get bigger, so that you can take on more and handle more, and not be in that autonomic nervous system or that limbic system where you're in fight, flight, freeze, or feign, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, I was wondering what feign was, because fight, flight, freeze, or feign. I was like, what is feign? And so do you know what that is exactly? Do you mind like dabbling into that or expanding on that a little bit, Lady Justice, for people who don't understand like me?
And it's interesting because I was just introduced to feign like maybe 2 months ago, and it's still a concept I don't really understand, because I always just thought it was fight, flight, or freeze. I didn't realize there was this fourth option. So I'm not the best to explain it. Unfortunately, Encyclopedia Britannica is closed on this one.
That's what's up. Okay. Because even Mrs. and Mr. Steelers are saying feign is pleasing, right? And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's bending. I hate to say this, or like bending a knee in a way. Maybe that's what it is. Like, you're doing everything you can to make the person who's abusing you happy, so that they don't hurt you anymore. So you try to appease them as much as you can, right? Or as Winter Mute, wow, it's been a minute. Hi, Winter Mute, said just a second here. Feigned is pretending. So basically, like putting on a show or putting on an act to make them happy. Like, okay, you're doing what I want, and then they walk away instead of unleashing on them, right? Unleashing on that victim, right? Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Maybe we can look that up or something. Feigning. Okay, so Proteus Black. Thank you for the comment. Feigning, like acting dead to make predator move on. That could be it too. Yeah, Burr said I think it means to play dead. Yeah, I guess it is. Like to just go limp. Literally freeze and go limp. Play possum.
That's right. Or fawn. I think and I found it here. It says fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Fawn, someone said it earlier, immediately acting to try to please to avoid conflict.
Gotcha. There it is. And so, and I really do appreciate you being so candid about your own things and your own experiences as well, Lady Justice, because you really went through things, unlike this woman here. Sorry, I had to say it like that. I'm sorry. I'm not downplaying you. Okay, I love you. But let's continue on. Let's hear the rest of this real quick, and then I'm going to try to find the other part that I'm trying to find, because I found it beautifully, and then the thing started acting like a damn fool. Let's go.
At the time in 2012, it was he'd have this blowout, and then he would leave, disappear, and I'd be committed to not talking to him. I'm done with this relationship. I can't take it anymore. I said that so many times. And then he'd come back, clean and sober, telling me either he had a chip. He didn't have any chips, but he would say, I've gone to meetings. I have a sober companion now. I'm doing this program. I'm reading this. I'm doing this. And he was done with drugs and alcohol for good this time. And he'd come back in my life. And with the combination of him being sober and having gone through this horrible thing where I felt like my heart ripped out of my chest, like a relationship ending is hard, I think, for anyone, but ending under that circumstance is really painful. And so when he'd come back, it would almost feel like a solution to that. And it would feel great. And we would be good again. And he'd be extra nice and extra apologetic and extra loving. And it would and we'd be back in the good bubble, the warm glow.
Okay. The good bubble, the warm glow. Here it is. Let me just say this really quick. We're going to pause on here for a second. Okay. And you might not agree with me, but I think this part is true. Hold on. I think what we hear right here is some of the truth. It may not be 110% the truth, but I do believe that he has a drinking problem. He has a substance abuse problem. Obviously, that was a huge problem in their relationship at some point, whether it was because she pushed him to this drunken, drug-infused anger that he could not control, or he was just drunk and high all the time. And she was just kind of like, hey, I'm really sick and tired of you drunk and high all the time. Yes, I partake. Yes, I kick it and all that. But it seems like you get a lot more drunk and a lot more high more often than I do. And I need you to be clean. I need you to get your ish together. I know that you are literally drinking yourself into a grave. So he goes, okay, fine. After maybe one big blow up, he goes, hey, I want to do everything I can. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for getting angry at you. Maybe he doesn't. And here it is. I don't think he threw any hands on her. I could see him throwing things across the room. I could see that. But is that physically abusing her? Is that putting hands on her? No. Him hitting a wall, him throwing something across the room that isn't aimed at her. You still know what I'm saying? We're talking about technical things here, okay? Because obviously that could still terrify somebody. Let's keep it real. That could still terrify anybody. But I think at some point he goes, whoops. I was so drunk I don't remember, a good portion of that. My bad, babe. I'm going to go clean up. So then he does. Ish. Maybe he does his own version of cleaning up, right? Because he's clearly a serious addict. And then turns to her and goes, hey, I anything to get her back, because he wants her back. You see what I'm saying? I don't know.
No, I think
I just see a
right.
little bit of the truth. I just see a little bit. I'm not saying the whole thing. I'm just saying this part clearly is somebody who is an addict. And what do addicts do a lot of times when they have family and friends that want them to clean up, but they don't fully want to clean up, or maybe they do want to clean up, but they just can't get into the rhythm of it. They'll sit there and say whatever they can to get those people back because they don't want to be alone anymore. You see what I'm saying? Now, this could be a full-on fabrication.
But this is, to me, like this is it seems like classic codependent behavior. But
Thank you.
if you
That's
think
exactly
about his past, what they were talking about, codependency makes sense. Like, being codependent on drugs, on alcohol, on people. But I think that also what's being minimized is that Amber seemed very codependent on him as well. And, one of the telltales was like her visceral reaction to when he would just disappear for long periods of time. She almost seemed like she needed her Johnny fix, just as much as he needed her. And I think that that's also not helpful in environments when you truly want someone to get better. Like, you can't be codependent on them because it's enabling behavior. And so like, yes, I can see that being true, but I also have questions about, okay, well, what are some of the roles you have, because you're demonstrating codependent tendencies as well, and how is that playing into this, right? And that's another thing they were saying about the potential, the alleged, histrionic border or histrionic personality disorder. I would assume a person would probably love bomb, right?
right.
Like, if you're sexually suggestive and you're always diving headfirst into these relationships and things, I would think that you're probably love bombing as well. I mean, she definitely describes Johnny as that, but once again, she's describing him in a lot of ways, and there's no accountability, it seems, on her part at all in any of this.
Yeah. No, she's not taking any accountability for anything at all. And of course, let me just say this really quick too. Obviously, they enable each other. Somebody just said it. I can't find the comment anymore, but they said, "Hey, he was sober. Allegedly, he was sober for a decade before he met her. So maybe there was something that triggered him, or she was, he in his eyes, some hot, sexy young thing that likes to party, likes to do this, that, and the third. And he's like, no big deal if I do a little sniff or drink. It's no big deal." And then all of a sudden he's full blown all the way into it. And damn, he's screwed, right? Because he's fully addicted. He's fully back. He's off the wagon now, right? But she obviously enabled him like crazy. They were each other's kryptonite in a way, which is obviously very sad. But then at the same time, we could look at the other side of it too, where she could just be fabricating any story that she's seen in any movie about addiction. You know what I mean? Any rock star that's been like, "Babe, I'm clean," and they lie and they do whatever they can to get the people back into their good graces, so on and so forth. We've all seen those movies, right? So she
Mhm.
could be fabricating the hell out of that too. But I just say it's not. I can't sit here and automatically say that all of that she's saying right here, this moment. I'm just saying this moment right here. Can't sit here and say all of that is a lie. There's probably some
Right.
truths lodged in there somewhere. Does
And
that
I think,
justify how she's acting? Hell no. But Lady Justice,
right. And I think it's Miss Silver said something that I was also thinking, but about how maybe all of it is true. It's just maybe her account of her behaviors is being scapegoated onto Johnny. So these behaviors happened, but maybe it wasn't him doing it, maybe it was her, but she's just ascribing this behavior there. And that's why her delivery is so easy to tell, because these things happened, but really now the question is, who did them?
yeah. No, I mean that's a good point right there. Or a good question as well. Let's go into this. Let's go back over here. Let's take a look at some other things. I'm gonna scrub through this a little bit, so bear with me, y'all.
And he's smoking cigarettes, and we're sitting next to each other on the couch. And
There it is.
I asked him about the
Wow, dead on. Man, I'm good.
tattoo he has on his arm.
Okay.
And to me, it just looked like black marks. I didn't know what it said. It just looked like muddled, faded tattoo that was hard to read.
Mind you, just so you know, this is the moment that he put his hands on her, allegedly, for the very first time. Also, I want to add a little bit of a background story of this. They had already been knocking the boots. They'd already been bumping uglies. They already making the beast with two backs. They were already clapping cheeks, okay, for a good long time, for a while. Before she asked this question, I just want to make that abundantly clear before we continue here, okay? Then she asked this question about this tattoo. Let's go.
And I said, what does it say? And he said, it says wino. It says wino. And I didn't see that. I thought he was joking because it didn't look like it said that at all. And I laughed. It was that simple. I just laughed because I thought he was joking. And slapped me across the face. And I laughed. I laughed because I didn't know what else to do. I thought, this must be a joke. This must be a joke. Because I didn't know what was going on. I just stared at him, kind of laughing still, thinking that he was going to start laughing too to tell me it was a joke, but he didn't. He said, you think it's so funny? You think it's funny, bitch.
This is where it cuts out.
Like, okay. It was clear it wasn't a joke anymore. And I stopped laughing, but I didn't know what else to do. You know, I didn't know what to do. You would think you would have a response, but I, as a woman, had never been hit like that. I'm an adult, and I'm sitting next to the man I love, and he slapped me for no reason, it seemed like, and I missed the point. It was that stupid.
Okay, we're going to stop right there, and we're going to continue here in a second, but we need to talk about this, okay? We need to talk about this. Okay, so she sits there. They're having wine, as usual. I think wine is always around them. Forget water. They're just drinking just boxes of wine. They're not drinking boxes of wine, but you feel me. They're doing their thing. She turns to him. Mind you, they had already been knocking the boots like crazy already. Going just raw dogging. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been going in it. She said it's on. She said it, but it lit earlier when they first met and all that. She said, you know, it was on, if you know what I mean. Like they were connected. They were together sexually. So you know for a fact you've had plenty of opportunities to see this man naked, to see this man with his Wino Forever tattoo, which used to be Winona Forever, but obviously when they broke up, he had it changed. He's had that tattoo for decades now. You've seen him naked. I'm sure you've shared a shower with him, or at least you've seen him laying in bed with him with his shirt off. Why today, of all days, would be the day that you ask him something like this, when I'm sure you've had that question asked to him months ago, or that you already knew about the background story of Winona / Wino Forever? It just, to me, the origin story of this slap doesn't work for me. We're not even done yet. She hasn't even finished her monologue yet. But you notice it's almost like something snapped in her mind, and she's like, okay, monologue mode. Now I'm going to start recanting this very elaborate story. But, Lady Justice, what are your thoughts on this? It's just something about it just irks my soul. But
so there were two things when you were talking about the tattoo. Yeah, that is kind of a known fact if you know Johnny Depp's stuff and his body of work and who he dated.
Can I add one thing real quick? Can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
If you randomly meet some guy and it's like, it's like fireworks, it's like, whatever, you guys are having crazy mind-blowing sex, all that stuff. This is the guy that you are falling in love with. You don't look him up. Like,
I look him up.
Thank
I
you.
look them up.
Especially Johnny
And all the guys I dated aren't, I'm not going to say they're nobodies, but I mean, they're not famous, obviously.
But this is the most accessibly available to Google guy out there. Johnny Depp. You can see his entire track record as far as who he's been smashing, who he's been in relationships with, how many kids he's got, what their ages are, so on and so forth. You can even look up how much he grosses a year. You don't think somebody's going to, like her of all people, who is becoming obviously infatuated, in love, puppy love. She's not looking just to understand who he is and all the things that are going on with him.
Yeah, something does seem off, because if you backtrack her testimony, when she talks about, right before she talks about going into the interview with him, or either around that time, she mentions, I didn't like his work, and but I knew who he was. He was, really famous at that time. She already established that she might not have liked his work, but she knew who he was, and she knew how famous he was. So, and his relationships have all been pretty high profile. So, the tattoo is odd, because I mean, I even knew that. And that actually came out more. I feel like they were talking about all of that again when Winona Ryder actually came out and said that, even when they dated, he was never violent. He was always kind. He was very sweet natured. So, I find that interesting. But another point I want to say really quick is they both laugh. Like, when it is stuff that, like, I would be appalled at, or you think, the average person would be appalled at, they like literally find funny. Like, she gets slapped and she says, I laughed. He discovers she shit in his bed and he laughed.
He was laughing.
I just think to myself, like, y'all laugh at the weirdest, most morbid things
some crazy
out there that happen to you. That was just a side note. Like, yeah, wow.
But maybe they get off on it. I'm sorry, I'm going to say that. Yeah. Maybe they get off on it. Tyler Fulmer, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Almost nothing from her seems authentic. I feel like I should have been paying for a movie with those dramatics. Also, she can't even get one tear out. Exactly. That's one piece that I'm sitting there going, you see her talking about these things. And if she was that, I just feel like if you're that traumatized, waterworks would be happening. I mean, you'd just be tears, waterfall. But go ahead. We're gonna say,
I'm gonna have something to say.
Absolutely. Let's go.
I have something to say. So if you're an individual, for example, like, we'll use PTSD as an example, and I'll speak from my own personal experiences. I got to a point where, when you disassociate so much, when you don't emotionally regulate, or you don't have strong distress tolerance skills, you do everything you can to escape from emotion. So if you've spent a good amount of your life, and I'm not saying that this is the case with her, I'm just saying how it could be possible that a person doesn't make that emotional connection, the no tears. When you spend so much time disassociating from your emotions, trying to reconnect to them is very, very, very difficult. And when you go back into your body, oftentimes the one thing you want to do is escape. And I can give a good example of, I was in what's called a somatic experiencing therapy session, and they were walking me through like this visual, like, you imagine you're here and what do you see, and look over this cliff. And doing this, I'm trying to tell them I'm going on in my body, and I get stuck. I got stuck for 40 minutes. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. And that was the one time I really cried, because I got stuck in my body. And it was the most terrifying experience that I've ever had in my life. But then after that, it was really hard for me, for example, to reconnect with my emotions. But then going through more therapy, I've been able to, since that point, when I've gotten into better distress tolerance and emotional regulation, to connect. So some people with PTSD can disconnect and disassociate from their emotions, and they will struggle to cry. So even if they feel upset, even if their emotions are genuine, they may not make the full connection, emotional connection, to get to that point where they do cry, or they may only cry for a couple seconds and then they will get pull themselves back together because they're like, I can't experience this. I need to push that down. I need to bury it. So this is just an example. I'm not saying that this is the case with her. I'm just saying that, speaking from experience, I know that this could be the case. Like
No,
it could be possible.
and that could be possible too. I see your point there. Some people, when they're reliving it, or for someone who is told the story hundreds and hundreds of times too, we just got to throw that out there. A lot of times they won't. I mean, they're still there, but the emotion, as far as crying, that guttural emotional cry, is gone now, because they've said it so many different times. Like when my father died, right? That was when he first died. It was hard to even say his name. It was hard to talk about how he passed. But then now he's been gone 2.5 years now. It's still sucks. It's still hard to talk about it, but it's not like I'm, overwhelmed. The emotions aren't overwhelming me, rather than just being able to talk about how great of a guy my dad was. You see what I'm saying? So I see what you're saying. Totally. I totally see what you're saying. But let's continue on here. Let's see the rest of this monologue. To be or not to be? Proteus Black. Yes. You know what I mean. Let's check it out. Oh, and hit that like button, guys. Get it up to 500 likes for me. That would really mean a lot. I see over 1,000, over 1,100 souls watching the show right now. I really do appreciate it. You guys are incredible. Please hit that like button. Send it past 500 likes real quick. Dag nabbit. Let's get into this.
Second slap, I know he's not kidding, but I don't know what else to say or do, so I just stared at him. I didn't say anything. I didn't react. I didn't move or freak out or defend myself or say, what are you doing? You're crazy. I just stared at him because I didn't know what else to do. And he slaps me one more time. Hard. I lose my balance. At this point, we're sitting next to each other on the edge of the couch, or I was on the edge of the couch. And I'm all of a sudden realizing that the worst thing has just happened to me that could possibly happen to you. I realized that I wish so much he had said he was joking, because it didn't hurt. It didn't physically hurt me. I was just sitting there on this carpet, looking at the dirty carpet, wondering how I wound up on this carpet and why I never noticed that the carpet was so filthy before. And I just didn't know what else to do. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to react. I just sat there thinking, how much time do I have till I figure out what I need to do? Because God, did he just hit me?
Okay. This part is the part that this is where I feel it went off the rails. To me, this is where I feel like the whole dirty carpet and talking about how dirty the carpet is and all that. No offense. I know that some other people are going to disagree with me on that. But to me, it just seems a little monologue-y, like she's writing a book, if that makes any sense. Even so, you see her in the sitting at the table with her lawyers, in the team heard bleachers, if you will. They're all sitting there on the bench, and she's writing in a book. And even in my mind, I'm like, I guarantee you she's writing stuff for a book. Right now, she's just writing feelings, because she's going to sell a book. If she wins, she's going to sell a book. Wait and see. Or if she loses, she's going to sell a book. Wait, just you wait and see. But with this piece, it just seems a little strange to me that she would give out those details. Now, I know some people are going to say something different, like maybe Lady Justice might have something different to say here. But to me, it seems like this is where it gets into the whole the summer's air burns like ice type stuff. Just very poetic and like almost like she is Hunter S. Thompson trying to describe a room and all the things in a very articulate, poetic way, but with emotion, if that makes any sense. Like she's doing a soliloquy from Shakespeare. So that's just my thoughts on that. But what do you think, Lady Justice?
Oh no, I 100% agree. I think that she's very dramatic. So
Extremely.
yeah, like
I mean, she came up with when we saw, I mean, I didn't show that when she walks up, but she sat down and it was very good. I'm going to be strong. It was this like that. And she's still doing that here. But then we see this part and I'm going, why are you going here? Why are you going right here? Why are you throwing these details now? To me, I feel like that's a lie. All the other things, not I mean, she's talked about a lot of things, but when they talked about falling in love, when he first approached her, when they first met, they talked about poetry, blues music, wine, all these things, and she's like, I just felt connected, so on and so forth. That's where I feel like was real, because she's not going in the hot wind burns like ice descriptions. She's not going into that crazy stuff. She's just like, yeah, we were doing this, this, and this. Truthful, factual. Now it's and now I'm on the ground and I'm just thinking to myself, how did I get down here on this dirty, dirty carpet? To me, it translates like she's fully making something up. And I know there's people out there that beg to differ, but this is where it goes. Down the rabbit hole we go, in my personal opinion. I got a couple super chats really quick. DJ Snap said, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, by the way. He said, something I need 100% clarification on is the context of the video of Johnny slamming cabinet doors. Wasn't that the morning Johnny was informed of his mother's passing? See, now that's the thing, real quick, because we got two. That's one. We got another super chat to get to, and we will get to it. But that's the one piece. I know there's some people out here that are telling me different. I've heard that. Okay, DJ Snaps. I've heard that it was the day before his mother passed, and he was really upset, and he was very drunk dealing with that. But then I also heard that he he owed the IRS a lot of money, hundreds of millions of bags. And he was very, very mad about the fact that he would have to fork out this amount of bags. So that's one piece I'm still fully not clear on. So I would love some clarification on that as well, because I've heard two different stories from many different people. So I'd love to hear that as well. We got another super chat really, really quick. And maybe, Lady Justice, do you happen to know it all?
So
on that question?
I'm not sure about that, but the one thing I did pull up that I remembered a few people were saying in the chat was that it was alleged that that could have also been when he discovered that like 650 million had been financially mismanaged, which then led to over 100 million in back taxes. So I don't know if it was the fact that he found out that someone was stealing and mismanaging his money, or if he owed, but I think they went hand in hand. But I remember that being brought up in the chat a couple days ago.
Yeah, I need some clarification. Because I've talked about it before, and I've heard one side and I've heard another.
Yeah, it was 100 million in back taxes, but it looks like that stemmed from alleged financial mismanagement and alleged theft.
Yes.
And that's what they're saying, that he might have found out about the theft due to the IRS debt. And he was like, what the heck's going on? And that enraged him. But some folks said he was more angered that someone would be stealing from him and mismanaging than it was really the back taxes. So that I don't know. What was it? But it was all tied together.
It's got to be a combo. Let's keep it real. It's a combo. I mean, you find out, even though he makes, in the last couple years, in the last 10 years, he made over $400 million. So he playing with big money. He got fun coupons. Okay, but at the same time, Still, no matter what, if you owe $100 million in back taxes and it was stolen from, man, I'd be pissed about both. I'd be like pissed because it's not like you just roll over and just grab a bag of $100 million and go, here, here, IRS, enjoy. You know what I'm saying? It's still probably locked up in all kinds of different accounts and all that. I mean, it's a headache. And on top of that, that's still $100 million plus of his hard-earned money, of him walking around, Captain Jack Sparrow. You know what I mean? Like, as a damn pirate. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. He ain't changed the world. He's a pirate. I'm sorry. And I'm sure at some point it's a character he didn't want to do no more. Let's be real. But it was like, all right, you're paying me. I'll act a damn fool. One more movie. Fine. You know what I'm saying? Stand here next to Orlando Bloom, who can't act through a paper bag, and Keira Knightley, because, she's just there. So, yeah, I'll do the damn movie. Dag nabbit, fine. Just give me a lot of money doing it, because I really don't want to act like a damn pirate. Anyway, Sensei Jeff, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I haven't seen her act that bad since the movie Never Back Down. My God. Man, y'all remember Never Back Down? That movie, man, I liked that movie. I didn't like her in it so much, but I liked the movie. I will tell you that. I used to own it on DVD. I will say that. Okay. But she was weird. The part where she's like, what did she say? Where she like jumps on top of him. They fall to the ground. And she was like, I don't know. Something about getting hit. It was weird. It's a scene where you just have to just watch the movie. If you like MMA, if you like UFC fighting, that kind of thing, you like martial art movies, you're going to enjoy it. That's all. But she's not. She's the, like the girl, like she's like the love interest. She's there for like 2 seconds. You know what I mean? That's all. Just take a look. We got another super chat in here. Charlie Miller, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Both events took place at the same time. So the mom and the money? Wow, that would have been bad. Ooh, see, I would have been a wreck. I would have been wrecked too. My mama, and then I owe $100 million. Man, you let me slam those. You let me slam those cabinet doors. You let me say, motherfucker. You let me do anything I want. Just stay out my way. Real talk. I'd be pissed, depressed, and pissed.
That's, and that makes me think about a question I have throughout this testimony is, obviously in criminal cases, if you lie, by omission, or if you're just out there lying on the stand, they can get you for, perjury? But is that the same in civil cases? Like, if she is purposefully omitting details in her testimony to mislead, is there ramifications? That's one thing I'm curious about.
Yeah. That is. Hold on. I got another super chat. Hold on real quick. Hold on. Here it is. Okay. Stephanie H. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. She has $100 million on the line. She will be laying it on thick. Absolutely. It's $100 million. Let's be real. But let's talk about that slamming of the cabinet doors and all that stuff. Okay. There's something something tells you about this person. If it was a situation where it was a combination of these two things, his mom died. If it was a combination, it doesn't matter if it was a combination or if it was one of each, either one. I'm sorry. He owed $100 million plus in taxes because money was stolen from him, mismanagement and all that stuff, or his mama died. She went out of her way, pulled out her phone, started filming him at his weakest and honestly drunkest moment, then tried to play victim in the video as if they had just gotten done with a violent tirade of words. And now he's just throwing, he's just angry and he's throwing a tantrum in the kitchen. that says something about the person that you're dealing with right here. That says something about who Amber Heard is. That's not somebody who is caring. She's going, ooh, this is an opportunity. Let's go. Pull out the phone. Just put it on the side. What's wrong? Why you mad? What's going on? Damsel in distress. This man either lost his mother or lost a whole lot of money, and he was very upset about it. And she used that as an opportunity to get a leg up on him, to continue to create a narrative. And now we see it here. She's continuing that narrative. Let's watch a little bit more of this.
No, I didn't want to leave him. I didn't want this to be the reality. I didn't want to have the man I was in love with. I know you don't come back from that. I'm not dumb. I know you can't hit a woman. You can't hit a man. You can't hit anyone. You can't just hit somebody because I knew it was wrong, and I knew that I had to leave him. And that's what broke my heart.
Okay. We're going to move on further. You see what I'm seeing? Does everybody see what I'm seeing? Like,
you can't hit anyone. You're not a man, not a woman. But you know what? I smacked the shit out of my husband. I didn't punch him. I smacked him. Remember that argument?
yes. I didn't punch you. Couch.
You should never hit somebody.
I want couch. Couch. I want couch. Okay, we're gonna go on further here.
And so you stayed, correct? You stayed in the relationship.
Yes.
Okay. So, is this a good time? You want to do
You can keep going a little longer, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, could you please describe for the jury the evolution of your relationship after that time with Johnny?
I don't know how long it was until things got bad again. He did start drinking again. I remember it was almost, he'd start drinking again, the disappearing thing, the coming back. He'd come back like in the middle of the night to my house. And it would be unclear to me, drunk, often really drunk, and kind of accusing me, but not directly. Nothing was very direct. It was a lot of accusations, but they were veiled. What I was wearing, who I was with, why didn't I text him back?
Here it is.
I didn't text him back right away. This is when I was at my place in Orange. Sometimes he would show up to catch me. Like that was a pretext for coming over. And by the time we were done talking, I would have thought I had convinced him that I loved him, that I only loved him, there was no one else, and then that we were back in an upswing and would go back to good, loving, like sick, romantic love. Like
bipolar relationship, it seems like. It would just be high, manic, high, and then very, very low. It would be volatile, and then it would just be like they were in heaven together and nothing could go wrong, and it was bliss. It sounds like, to me, it sounds like a manic relationship, a heavily dependent relationship, and extremely volatile and toxic. But I know this is just a taparoo into the conversations about the way she dresses, the clothes that how she was dressing. She goes in further about like, oh, that's how they're gonna remember you, kid, and all that stuff, right? Like he's Humphrey freaking Bogart up in this Biz Naive. But anyway, she will sit there and talk about these things. Now, let me just ask you guys something. This goes out to the fam too. If you had a history of cheating on your spouse, every time you left because, I don't know, either you're hiding the relationship, you don't want everybody to know that you are dating each other, or because you have to go to a work thing. But every time you go to this work thing, other ridiculously good-looking people are there that want to smash, and therefore you go off to smash. Do you think that your spouse finds out, or your partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, finds out that you've been out here smashing? Do you think that person's just gonna be cool with you going out if you wearing low plunging things, or dressing extra hot to be in that place? Do you think it's gonna be cool? I'm just curious for everybody. You don't think that a boyfriend or a girlfriend's gonna go, wait, you're gonna go out? You're going out like that? Because you already smashed Elon Musk and maybe James Franco and God knows who else, and maybe some girls to boot. So real quick, you sure you're gonna dress up and go out like this? Okay. I'm sorry. No offense, but if you've already been known for kicking rocks off the beaten path that we've already created together, off the path we've created together, me personally, I'm going to be paranoid too. I'm constantly going to be like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Blah, blah, blah. Just saying, especially if you don't want to lose that person. I would have said bye a long time ago, but still, I would have said bye long ass time ago. But he still, for some odd reason, wanted to keep her. Maybe she was a trophy. I think he did say something along the lines of, she is the dream at one point when they first met. Maybe he thinks that she's the dream. I don't know. Lady Justice, thoughts?
Well, the dream, I think, at least the context that it seemed that Amber set up, I think he was referring to like the role, because wasn't this like about either his friend's life or his friend wrote this or something? And I feel like she was like the dream, like she was like the ideal. And he talked about that her character was the representation of the dream. But I think it seemed like it was the way she told the story. It seemed like it was like a double entendre, that she's literally the dream, like what the Rum Diaries talks about, what she's going to represent in the story. But I think for her, like, this is a dream job. Like, here's the dream. Like, this should help kind of continue to put your foot in the door. At least that's how it sounded to me. So,
yeah, I mean, she did say it's in that thing when she said, hey kid, you got the movie, You Are the Dream. She was saying like, I'm supposed to represent the American dream. So, but I also do think that maybe in his mind, she's putting her up, you know what I mean? He putting her up on a pedestal, you know what I mean? And keeping her up there and saying she is, he sent her a dress for one of her birthday gifts from the movie that I guess she really liked. Talked about how she was like a gift, and this was the gift wrapping or something like that. Like, clearly he praised her in a certain way. He put her up on the pedestal. Also, you got to remember, she is much younger than him. So this is probably the youngest he's ever dated. So obviously he's looking at her as like that, and I'm sorry to say this, but maybe like that shiny new fast car. As a middle-aged man, he's getting this young, sprightly starlet that he gets to be with and party with and feel young again with. So maybe that's what it is. But it's been wild. Let me go into this super chat really quick. $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Ivan Jr. Mom died in 5/20/16. Film or video footage was from 5/21/16. That would make sense. That would make total sense. The footage of him losing his mind happened the day after. The day after he found out his mother died. And maybe he found out, like Charlie Miller said earlier, maybe he found out both things at the same damn time. He found out money and mama both gone. Literally, both of them gone. And he freaked the F out, understandably. T. Hamilton, but you just don't try to use it to get a leg up. Seriously. T. Hamilton, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Terrific commentary. Just wanted to say thank you to you both. Team Johnny. Thank you so much, T. Hamilton. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch this show. Hey, guys, if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button down below. Crush it, crush it, crush it. If you haven't done it, we've been talking about this a lot, but we talk about a lot of different stories on this channel. So don't be shy. Crush that subscribe button. All right. We're almost at 60,000 subscribers, which is amazing. So I'd really, really appreciate it if you guys will join the Pascal Show family. And also there's that join button down below. We also got the Patreon and we got Cash App. So do as you please. Okay. Support this channel. I'd really appreciate it. DJ Snaps. Thank you for the $5 super chat. He says, I mean, Amber did get arrested for DV to an ex-girlfriend, which we have talked about on the show, which is very true. And when she was dating Elon Musk, he was photographed with bruises on his face. So, yeah, I see your point. Absolutely. And she might have a history of violence. And I'm not talking about Viggo Mortensen. Okay? Nobody remembers a history of violence. Come on, guys. Damn. Am I the only film nerd in this group? In this chat? Come on now. Anyway, whatever happened to Viggo Mortensen? He just kind of disappeared, y'all. Lord of the Rings and then gone? Okay. Anyway, Princess Rose Doll, how you doing, sweetheart? Thank you so much for the $3 Canadian dollars. Thank you. She purposely disheveled her hair and makeup. Yeah. You know, that's the one thing I was curious, because every single time she has been in the courtroom, she has made very interesting style choices. But today she put hair half up and half down. And my theory is this. She put half the hair down, I think, so that she can cover her face if she has to pull out these crocodile tears, to make it seem like she really is crying. I don't know. To me, it was just kind of maybe a way to hide her face, or to hide her view from Johnny as she's turning and looking at the jury, so that she doesn't have to see him in the corner of her eye as she lies. I don't know. Lady Justice, what are your thoughts? Oh, I
don't know if I have any thoughts about her hair. Honestly, I wasn't paying attention to it until someone mentioned it. So I don't really know.
Yeah,
her whole look just doesn't look like her. I mean, obviously I know you want to go to court put together, but I also know that when you get up on the stand, you also want to be relatable. And her look just seems stuffy. I don't.
This one?
Yeah, the suit and it just seems, just her whole look looks stuffy. It doesn't look like things I've seen her just wear that's just kind of, that's still professional, but it shows more, more of a personality. I mean,
you think this shows more of a personality?
No, I'm saying what she's worn. Like I've,
yes.
in other pictures, like where she's been out, like in public, and
yes,
she looks professional. Like this look looks stuffy. Like it doesn't fit her at all, at least her style. And so she doesn't even seem relatable. But honestly, her hair, I wasn't really paying much attention to.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I just feel like she should be like, man, I just would love some sassafras. Like, I'm just waiting for a little, you know what I mean? I'm literally thinking she's trying to do There Will Be Blood 2. Like, she's auditioning for the sequel, but they're doing the female version of it, and she's trying to do the Daniel Day-Lewis part. You know what I mean? Literally, I said it earlier, but I drink your milkshake. I drink it up. You know what I mean? That's just me. She looks like an old-timey preacher, or like and I said it earlier, like she's Amish or something, driving an old Ford T-model Ford. You know what I mean? That's just kind of the vibe I got here. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. Yesterday, she had a little bit more sharper of a suit on, and I would have loved to have seen her in that today than this. I'll say that. But Dory, McNulty. I was staying at the same DC hotel as Vigo when he was filming History of Violence. He was next door. That's cool. That's very, very cool. Did you get to meet him? That's what I'd like to know. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I think we got another one that I missed. Did I miss it? No, we're up to date on that. Okay, good. But as you see, come on. Yup. Slurp. You know what I mean? Just saying. If you guys have not seen, whoops, wrong one. If you guys have not seen There Will Be Blood, I'm telling you, you are missing out on fantastic film work. That's all I'm saying. You need to see it because it's just so damn good. Man, is it good. Anyway, Daniel Day-Lewis, the whole script, the cinematography, chef's kiss. It's great. It's a great movie. Anyway, somebody just said put up a poll. Where did that go? Oh, here it is. Nerd Zombie. Okay. Can you put up a poll? Who is the winner at this stage? You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Hold on. Let me do that real quick. I love the typing away. Okay. Poll, it should be up in a second. It says, who do you think is winning at this point? Johnny Depp or Amber Heard? It is pinned to the top of the chat. Go ahead and click on it till your heart's content or something like that. Anyway, let us continue. I think there was one. Yep, here we go. Thank you so much, Allison, for a $2 Canadian dollars. I'm sorry. Do any of you think she's a manipulator? Yes. Lady Justice?
I answered her question in the chat, but yeah, I think that she probably is. I think that she has tendencies. Do I think that she manipulates all the time? Probably not, but does she strike me as a manipulator? Yes.
I mean, you think about it. You got a woman who's I want to say something, but I don't want to go there. I don't want to be rude. I'm not trying to be rude, but society tends to lean towards women that will instantly, when the waterworks turn on, we are quick to take their side instantly. Like, this is why this whole situation is so bad with this whole Me Too movement. She went ahead and did it. And what happened? Every single person that was a part of any type of group, if they were hardcore behind the hashtag Me Too movement as well, they were behind her. They were championing. You know what I'm saying? Okay. They were behind her, rooting for her, saying, yes, speak, say this. He's a monster, without any factual proof, without anything except for an op-ed. She went and did a public, she spoke publicly, was out here saying these things. Plenty of other people have gotten behind her, rooting her on and being behind her in solidarity because of the Me Too movement. And all she had to do was say, he raised his hand at me, and cry, or at least do what she's doing here. And everybody and their mama's like, oh, it's the truth. Say it, sister. And that's what sucks about this situation, because she's taking advantage of something like this, when it should be a situation where we should all listen to the people who say, me too. All the people that sit there and say, I am in a relationship like this, or I am a survivor, or I was a victim of this, but I found salvation and I got through, but I still want this man to pay, or this person to pay. But what sucks is that because of something like this, everybody and their mom is now going to hesitate. Is that really true? Really? I don't know. Now I need proof. Now I need to know without a shadow of a doubt that little Michael actually did that. so on and so forth. And that's what sucks about this, because now that's what's going to start. Kind of like the Will Smith smack. You see something, he got away with it. Next thing you know, everybody and their mama wanted a piece of that pie. We just saw it with Dave Chappelle. Very, very controversial stand-up comedian, whether you agree with it or not. I think he's hilarious personally. Okay, I'm a fan of Dave Chappelle, but he's controversial nonetheless. You don't think that it was only a matter of time that wave, that ripple that Will Smith created wasn't going to start reaching out to other people that might feel a little unhinged, or might feel a little enraged, might feel a little passionate about what other people are saying out here on these stages. And lo and behold, what happened? So this kind of thing is going to have a ripple effect. And I don't know if it's going to have a positive effect on women and men who step out and actually say, me too. And that's the sad part of it all. Whether you want to believe her or not, this is going to have some negative repercussions for every single other person out here. Now, the women and men that want to step out and say something now they themselves are going to hesitate.
I say that's why it's going to be important to document. If there's anything that you take from this, is whether I think that Amber's intentions were malevolent or benevolent, however you want to say it. I mean, record. If you live in a state where you can record, like I live in a state where it's a one-party consent state where I can record private conversations, like record, document. I will say this, like if you are an individual who is being abused, like please seek therapy, get it documented, or text your friends, like stuff that's happening, email yourself, even if you're emailing yourself about what happened, it has a timestamp. I just think that it's going to be really important for individuals. If the one thing that they can learn from this is it's going to be document.
Absolutely. I do want to say something. I want to piggyback on that really quick, but I see another comment. Manushka, thank you so much for the comment. She said, something's off with the girl. Deb ain't perfect, but Amber ain't right. I absolutely 110% agree, Manushka. Thank you so much for the comment. Here's something I want to point out here too, real quick, before I go to this super chat, and we're going to continue with this video. We're going to look at some more. Okay. I promise you that. Trust and believe. But let me just say this. Document. Yes, I do agree. If you ever have somebody put their hands on you, you should document. Don't worry. Don't leave. We are going to go back to this video. Trust me, we will. But just bless me with this time. I do agree with that. But let me say this too, though. Just to piggyback off of that. Why didn't Amber Heard contact the authorities? Why didn't Amber Heard document and then contact the authorities? If he committed a criminal act onto her body, why did she not just go to somebody, go to 50, whatever, and say, this happened to me. This is Johnny Depp. He put his hands on me. He smacked me with his rings on, and now I'm all jacked up. Document it, contact the authorities. Why did she send it to, for example, why did she send it to an RN, a registered nurse, the one that works for her, days after the fact? Why not call or hit up the authorities and get things moving? Now, I get it. Maybe she thinks that he's super powerful and all that crap. But at the same time, all those things of her with the bloody lip, so on and so forth, where's the footage of that? Where's the documentation of those said things that he allegedly did to her? We have one photo of her doing this, showing a bruise on an arm, which could be from anywhere, could have been from anything. She could have been moving furniture, she could have been boxing, doing a Zumba class. Anything could have happened from that bruise. All the other bruises that she says that happened on her face, where is the documentation of those said things? She said this man hit her so hard and so bad that he broke her nose. Where is the medical record showing that her nose was broken? Where's the medical record showing of anything that happened to her body? Don't worry.
Yeah, I would. I mean, with that much stuff, I would hope. I'll say it like this: with that much stuff happening to an individual, I would hope that more of it would have been medically documented, which we found out that it wasn't. It was just that the concussion and the bloody lip, which was like the day after or something to that effect. But I will say, like, I asked the question too. I'm like, you would think that with all of this violence, I mean, like, it is like made for Lifetime TV violence. I would think that Johnny Depp would have been under the jail.
Thank you.
Um,
Married.
but I can also say that sometimes things happen to you and you don't always report. I mean, like I talked about the case where I civilly went after a massage therapist and the spa that something happened to me at. I never reported it to the police. And I thought that I live in a community that isn't extremely diverse. It is diverse, but the police force isn't diverse. And, I live in Minnesota, as people can already know how that might make me feel, but I didn't feel comfortable as a Black woman, for example, going to the police because I didn't think that I would be heard, nor believed, nor taken seriously. And so I will say that there are individuals out there, regardless of gender, that feel like it won't be believed. That's why DV with against men is very underreported, because there's a lot of men out there who don't think that they'll be believed. I mean, remember in her testimony, Amber made fun of Johnny for crying, like basically, like, what man cries? And I'm like, we need to get off of that. We need to allow men to have an emotional self so that they can have a healthy outlet to express their emotions, so that it doesn't turn into rage where they are hitting someone or doing something that they shouldn't be doing, or they unalive themselves by death of despair. Death is called death of despair. So I'm just saying that people do and don't do things for various reasons. And I would think in this situation, someone would have or should have reported something, especially being that therapists are mandated reporters. I'm very shocked that something didn't happen with all of this that supposedly had come out. But I say that's why it's important, if you're not going to report, to document. If you don't go seek medical attention, document. If you want to keep it personal, there's a way. Like I said, take photos and email them to yourself. There's always going to be a timestamp, all of that. They can tell if pictures are doctored, all of that. Just do something. Doesn't matter what gender. Protect yourself.
Yeah, and that's the thing I was trying to say too earlier, as well, is just to piggyback off of what you said here, is that people like Terry Crews, and I know some people are going to sit there and laugh, but I'm sitting here saying people like Terry Crews won't be able to step forward and say anything anymore. Guys won't be able to even say, yeah, that happened to me too. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of guys out here that things like that do actually happen. Things like this actually happen to men too. Not only just on the DV, okay, but also on the SA. That happens a lot. But men aren't talking about it because they don't want to come off gay. Real talk. They don't want to come off emasculated. They don't want to come off, oh, he's a little femme now, because something bad happened to him. Real talk. And it's messed up. And I honestly feel that this woman done mucked that up for a lot of people. Now everybody and their mama is going to be like, well, show me the Carfax. That's what's going to happen now, which really, really sucks. We got some super chats real quick, and then we're going to go into the next part of this video. Thank you, William Wooford, for the $10 super chat. True Detective Matthew McConaughey season 1. She stole the whole dirty carpet scene. Oh, that was straight from the script. That's a good call. I totally forgot about that. Good season too. That's the only good season also, actually. But yeah, the McConaughey one's really good. But that's a good call right there. I got a couple other super chats. Let me just grab these really, really quick. Thank you so much, Allison, for the $2 Canadian dollars. Do any of you believe do any of you believe anything she said, I guess, on the stand? I think that there's like, yeah, it's like this. It's wishy-washy. You know, I think that there's some truths in it. You know what? I'll tell you this. I think she started off truthful. Oh, here's the other part. Let's not forget this. Oh, this is great. This was great. Remember when they were saying that she didn't write the op-ed and that she just wrote her name on it and she wrote the title? She said right off the bat, her attorney, Elaine, asked her, "Why are you here?" And she said, "Because of an op-ed I wrote." She said it right off the bat. I was like, booyakah! Oh my God. Case closed. Case closed. Right off the bat. She done shot herself in the foot. Damn. Man, it felt good. But I was like, yo, she just said that. Go home. Everyone pack up.
Remember the opening statements. We're here. What did she do? Like, I'm just going to hold. We're here because of, and she held up that little compact.
Yep.
And then that company came out and said, that's bullshit. Yeah. So
Milani said test results came back and proved that is a lie. They said they didn't even have that stuff out until after they broke up, after the divorce. So where was she using that is? She didn't get like replicas sent to her. You know what I'm saying? Elon Musk ain't going to freaking getting hooked up from Milani Cosmetics from drugstores. She really went to a drugstore? But then she's got sponsorship from L'Oreal? Okay, guys.
I mean, L'Oreal is at the drugstore, so.
No, but I'm just saying she's got that hookup. You don't think she gets the best of the best? She ain't getting that stuff just on like a package every month.
She did allege that she was in financial dire straits, which is why she didn't give away that $7 million she got in the divorce settlement, which she was called out on and didn't donate. So I just, you know, I'm trying. We're all trying here.
Breon, I'm trying. Okay. I'm really trying. Okay. She's really trying. Okay. Hodges House. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Thank you. I can't agree more with how this will negatively impact real survivors of domestic violence. I love your take and real mother loving talk. I had to throw in mother loving. This felt like it. Well, you threw in the $20, so I had to add a little zhuzh. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate the $20 super chat. And yes, every person now gonna have to come in with the Carfax, and that sucks. It really, really sucks. Nobody gonna believe nobody. Autumn, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Do you think AH had a baby for sympathy like Holmes? Please don't tell me, man. She didn't even bear that child. Do you understand? She threw a seed in the snow and it grew, and she goes, "Oh, it's mine." That's it. But
a lot of celebrities are doing that, where they have surrogates, and some who don't want to, you know, I mean, maybe she had some kind of contract and she didn't want to, you know, get pregnant and change her body. Like, I don't know. A lot of women do. And she's also 36. And so they say, like, really, you don't want to go past, if you're healthy, you don't want to go past 39 to, you know, save eggs and things of that nature. So honestly, I'm not going to bring her child into this and say it was for sympathy. I think there's a lot of individuals out there that want to be parents, you know, whether they have dark triad traits or whether they are perfectly healthy individuals. There are people out there that do want to be parents. And I personally don't want to bring the child into this, you know, because the one thing I will say that I do believe when they asked her about, you know, when she mentioned her daughter and mentioned her daughter was one, the way her face lit up and the way she like just fell into thinking about her daughter, to me, showed genuine love. I think that she wanted to be a mom, and that felt truthful. That reaction felt like one of the most genuine things out of all of that. So
Yeah. So then
mhm.
she should go be a mother. Moving
There
on
you
to
go.
and just kick rocks, leave Hollywood, go be a mom. Okay. The world needs more bartenders. Just go be a mom. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Thank you so much, T. Hamilton, for the $5 super chat. No, real talk. I mean, yes, bringing a child into the world, even though you didn't really bring the child into the world, you just gave it to somebody else, and then they grew it in their body, and then they took and brought your child into the world. Yes, it's a beautiful thing. Okay, and I'm not knocking any person that has a surrogate. I'm not knocking it. I'm not. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's something about it. If you can bear the child, just bear the child. That's just what I think. That's just what I think. But at the same time, surrogates do exist. But I feel like they're there because we say the woman cannot bear the child for medical reasons, right? That's just my thought. That's just what I think. But if you can actually bear that child, but you're sitting there going, "Oh, I can't. It's 9 months, and then I got to get my body back and all that." I don't know. But then again, who am I to say anything? I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man. This is me for the rest of my life until I get old, and then everything goes sags south. You know what I'm saying? So who am I to say anything? I'm a man. So I'll leave that decision. I mean, I already said my opinion here, but at the same time, in reality, I am just a man. So, I'll leave that discussion up to the ladies, to be really honest. It's your bodies. But to me, I just, I'm like, yo, you haven't been doing something for years, and now you got a kid. You could have, you maybe could have, unless there was medical issues. But like I said, I'm going to shut up. I'm a man. T. Hamilton, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I really do appreciate it. Let's not forget, AH cut off his finger, JD's finger, and he could have died from severe infection. Amber Heard would have gone to jail if not for JD protecting her. Absolutely. Oh, and let's not forget her throwing the bottles at him, I think she threw a mineral can. I don't know what that is. Like I said, you don't remember throwing a mineral can at my face? He said a mineral can. I don't know what the hell that is. But anyway, threw a mineral can at his face. And then as he's on the ground, cradling his hand like this, she walks over, takes a lit cigarette, and puts it out on his face. Yeah, that's real. That is real. And he documented that. You see what I'm saying? Documentation, as Lady Justice just said. Documentation. And he still protected her ass because she wasn't arrested. Last I checked, she wasn't arrested for that. That's insane. Okay. And she's suing him for $100 million. Yet he finger cigarette. She's saying, stop being such a baby. Do you understand that they went looking for the tip of his finger? I don't mean to laugh, but it's quite comical. They looked for the fingertip as he's cradling. And she's like, quit crying like a little baby. Quit being a little girl. What?
But that's what I mean. Like she seems to continue to minimize. Like, I mean, even like if you watched his behavior today, I mean, his head was down. I mean, he seems very timid and passive. I mean, even in interviews, he seems very timid and passive. That's why I was always shocked. Like, I'm like, this man is an actor and a really, really famous one because I mean, like his nature just seems quiet. But
Exactly.
once again, she minimized his pain. And like to me, like that's a form of abuse. Not validating someone to me is abusive. And just really unhealthy. And it's so sad because like he said, his first love is music and he plays the guitar. Like, why would he do that to himself? And therefore, I mean, I can only imagine, what was going through his mind, not just that he was in pain, but just thinking about like what this loss could mean for something he's very passionate about. Like, if you're already talking about someone who is got an alcohol and drug problem, and then you take away something that they're really passionate and love about their life, like, where is the will to go on at that point? I just, that was just really disgusting to hear and learn about, because um I don't know, that tip of his finger represented a lot. And I think that that's what I don't think was played up enough.
Thank you. I don't know, and maybe it will. Maybe it will. They haven't gotten to it yet. They haven't even gotten to that part yet. They are still in the basically kind of the courting phase, it seems like, before the marriage. I think that's where I was like, wait, have they gotten married yet at this point? So I don't think they've gotten to the part of the, where he proposes, or how he proposed, or how they even did the whole marriage, whatever it is. So I think this is still in the courting phase, still when they're boyfriend, girlfriend, or keeping things on the low, which is very interesting. We're going to go over there here in a second. Healthcare. So Jay Cantor, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Healthcare workers are also mandated reporters. That's true. Cops would have been called. Report would have been filed. Abso-freaking-lutely. Let's go on. I got another one here. Loving the super chats. Thank you so much for all the comments, all the super chats. It's a blessing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, do not forget to hit that like button down below. Send it past 700 likes real quick. We're almost at 1,000. I know we lost a couple hundred, but it's okay. It's all good. You guys are still here. So please hit that like button. Get it past 700 likes. That would really mean a lot. And also hit that subscribe button. Crush it. Hit it. Okay? Working hard out here in these streets. All right? And staying an hour longer than I said I was going to be on, which is kind of me. But let's move on. Okay? Charlie Miller, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Time has come to cancel Amber, uncancel Johnny. Yeah, I just, let's talk about that super chat really quick. Thank you for the $2 super chat, but let's keep it real. Do we really think Johnny Depp's going to be fully able to bounce back from this? Think about it. Is he really going to be back on, swashbuckling Captain Jack Sparrow? I don't think so. I mean, obviously he said he's not going to deal with Disney no more, but I'm saying even if he didn't say that and Disney said, hey, Johnny, baby, we want you back in the pictures, would he do it? No. Or I don't think they would be asking him that. I'm sorry. I don't think so. I think what's done is done. The damage is done. Even though, yes, the court of public opinion, he's coming out victorious right now. But does that automatically mean that he's going to be in the big pictures again? I don't think so. I think he's going to be doing a lot of passion projects and smaller projects, and that's it. And he's still going to show off his skills, but I think this really tarnished him pretty bad. Even this, it's still very exposing. Okay, this is very open about who he is and his habits. I don't know.
Well, I think that it's possible. Do I think that it's going to be right away? Is he going to see something right away within months? No, but I think maybe in a year or two, it's quite possible. I mean, I feel like I don't know how this case is going to go, but at the end of the day, in the court of public opinion, Johnny has really won the hearts of a lot of people. And I believe that with a lot of backing, like the great example was, when people said that Jason, is it Momoa? Is that how you pronounce his last name? I never get it right. He started following him on Twitter and has seemingly showed support for Johnny. I think that if more individuals in Hollywood continue to show support, I think that he could bounce back. And I think that's the question too, is if fans are like, we're Team Johnny, if people are coming back Team Johnny, his movies do make a lot of money. And I think that if you put him in a film, people will show up. People will show up to support it. And I think that that's also really important, is that can Johnny still make um, these companies money? And I think that after this, within a year or so, I think that that's highly possible. And, sadly, Hollywood is not going to run from money. I mean, the thing about being alcoholic and on drugs in Hollywood is like normal. So
That's very true.
like I'm sure that like dealing with someone with these issues is not a problem. I mean, like we see it all the time, every day, all day, and how many individuals bounce back from, being in facilities, or like where they get like the therapy, like the rehab and all of that. We hear about it all the time. I don't I don't think that this is going to really phase him, because I think in the court of public opinion, I think that he's winning.
Look at Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, she's bouncing back.
Yeah, she really is. I mean, it took a while, though. It took a while.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to point that out. It wasn't like tomorrow. Like I said, hey, Lindsay, baby, we want to put you back in the pictures. It wasn't like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It took some time. Now she's in commercials and random stuff now. She's slowly back. Sorry?
Robert Downey Jr. is a great example.
Robert Downey Jr.
Really great example.
A fantastic example. He got a really great part. He revamped the and we already know the rest, right? Iron Man and all of that, but like even the Sherlock Holmes movies and stuff. I mean, yeah, he cleaned up, and then he got some really great parts, but he was already a fantastic actor to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to give him some good parts, and he bounced back without a problem. So hopefully you're right. Miss Diligent, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Now we're going right there. So that's why I wanted to click on this real quick. Miss Diligent says now she mentions he cavity searched her cavities, okay, for some cocaine. That's true. Allegedly. That's what she says. We're going to go into that. We got to go into that for sure. We have got to go in there. So let's go into it, shall we? I got to find it, unfortunately, but we're going to find it. So let's go.
Kind, sweet. Get any more? Said that so many times. And then he'd come back, clean and sober, telling me either he had a chip. He didn't have any chips, but he would say,
we already went through that. Let's get back here.
Going to be the end of him drinking forever. Sounds foolish now, but I held up this kind of glass with him, and we sent the picture to my dad.
Oh, that's one part I wanted to talk about. Okay. The holding of the glass. This is the weird part to me here. Hold on. So her father was going to go to rehab because he has a substance abuse problem, mainly alcohol abuse problem. Johnny Depp, of all people, said, I want to take a photo of me holding a shot glass filled with liquor to send to your dad, who's going to rehab for alcohol abuse, to tell him, hey, bon voyage. Does that make sense? Hey, buddy, I know you like this stuff. I'm holding it. Like it's like a person going on a diet, and you're taking a photo of you going in on a fantastically delicious looking cake and going, enjoy your diet. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? Cheers to you, buddy. I'm going to be drinking while you can't. See you on the other side. See you when you come back. Isn't that messed up? I'm sorry. That's really jacked up. And she's talking about it like it's just normal. Like this is totally logical. Oh my God. Anyway, that's messed up. Okay, moving on.
Because, I didn't know what else to do. And I remember thinking it was weird that he was drinking. And
not that he wanted to send a photo to your dad that might trigger your dad to say, F it, I'm not going to rehab. I'm going to go. I need a drink. Now I see Johnny Depp drinking. I want to drink. He's my role model. I love this man. I need a drink now. You know what I'm saying? Bruh, somebody going on a diet, serious diet, and you're sitting there just digging in on a huge, gigantic cake. It's delicious. You're just drowning your face in milk, and you're going, good luck, buddy. Like, man, that's gonna trigger him. It's like that cake looks delicious. Come on, y'all. It's so ridiculous. Oh my God. Okay.
And then the month got really crazy from that point on.
Let me get to this.
I was so caught up in the relationship and also very occupied in defending what I only could assume he believed, these accusations, that
Hold on.
she occasionally did cocaine. I didn't, but she did. So I was like, hey, come take over. You know, maybe you can buddy him and talk him into leaving the house, just getting out of the house. And she did. I remember his assistants trying to get him out. Like, we eventually in the evening, I think early evening, he finally.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm still trying to find it.
Set up with these little trailers, and
there it is.
We had made.
We roll back just a little bit.
Hicksville, May 2013. Can you tell the jury what transpired at Hicksville?
Here's Hicksville.
It is
the moment where he trashed an entire, allegedly. I'm still trying to find out if this is actually true or not, where he trashed an entire trailer. And this is the moment where he literally put or he went and did a cavity search on her body, trying to find a packet of booger sugar, apparently that he thought was inside of her, special place. So
it's a fancy trailer park, like a little hotel in the middle of nowhere, set up with these little trailers. And we had made a plan to go there with friends, and we were going to do, like laffy, as we said, laffy drugs, like mushrooms, eat mushrooms, sit by a campfire. There's really not a whole lot else to do out there. It's like a getaway. We had made
nothing else better to do. I'm sorry. I'll stop pausing, but nothing else better to do. I don't know. Enjoy nature, count the stars. I don't know. Get into some astrology. Take a hike. Literally, not figuratively speaking. Take a hike. Start a fire. Pull out a guitar. Sing your feelings out. There's so many other things you could read a book, write a book. Hey, work on some poetry that you've been working on. There's so many options other than tripping on freaking MDMA and shrooms. Okay.
This plan, and it was going fine. It was like a, kind of like a party out in the desert with a few friends and campfire and music. And I don't know somebody brought MDMA. It was being passed around, and somebody who took it kind of was starting to feel the effects of it, I guess is the best way to describe. She kind of reacted in this way where when the MDMA hit her, she kind of, we were sitting around a campfire, all of us, and she kind of just leaned into me and put her, head on my shoulder and kind of grabbed my arm. I took it, to be the effects of the drug. And I think I had eaten a mushroom cap, but was not feeling anything at the time. I don't remember feeling anything.
You don't remember feeling anything because maybe that's when the drugs were kicking in. But that's just, I'm not a pro with shrooms. I'm really not. Clearly she as Lady Justice has said, she likes the laffy drugs, or the lovey drugs, or whatever it was, something with an L. Sure. You know what I'm saying? So she knows if it's kicking in or not. Come on now. Come on. But she says she's not doing anything else. But let me just point this out one more time. The RN in her notes said that she loved doing these things, including MDMA. and the cocaine. She liked all of that. So why is she acting like she's holier than thou and just took a little bit of something that grew from the ground? Sorry. It just from cow manure, by the way. That's where shrooms really kind of allegedly grow from. They come from cow shit. You didn't know? Now you know. Moving on.
Because the night just kind of changed pretty dramatically before I really felt anything of the effects of that. But that was the environment we were in. And as soon as she kind of did this thing where she leaned into me, Johnny gets really activated. He gets really upset and he starts, well, at first she thought he was kidding too. She thought he was kind of making a joke. I think we all did. Everyone kind of responded at first, you know, that like it was a joke, but he was like, hey man, what are you doing? You know, what do you think you're doing? And she kind of giggled and kind of leaned into me more. And I knew in my body just instantly that it wasn't a joke. But she didn't. So she's kind of still attached to my arm when he says it again to her louder. He says, hey man, you think you're touching my fucking girl? You think you're touching my fucking girl? That's my fucking girl. And he gets louder and louder. And she kind of did this thing, half understanding what was going on. I think she kind of started to cry at this point, but she kind of threw up her hands and Johnny grabbed her wrist and kind of twisted it and pulled her into him and said, do you know how many pounds of pressure it takes to break a human wrist?
Come on, Lady Justice. Shimon. Say it.
I don't.
You
I'm just like, I'm so over Amber already. Like I don't even know. But you know, it's interesting because I had said this a few days back, but I didn't know which event was being referenced. But Sandy in the chat had Sandy the Sassy Queen in the chat had brought it back up, and I remembered listening to another YouTuber talk about this, but talking about how this Hicksville incident, like further along, not this particular part, but the SA part, happened to a former employee, Kate James. And I remember this YouTuber going through like scenes from movies that Amber was in, as well as accounts of different events that happened to people who were close to her, or like she said, like former employee, and how she's taken those stories and then made them her own. Like I think even someone said there's a situation that she describes that's also in Gone Girl, or something of that nature. But
plenty of moments that she has talked about comes from Gone Girl. It's creepy. Yeah. There's a whole video on YouTube where they compare this case with Gone Girl and the things that happen in Gone Girl. It's mind blowing. Y'all need to go check it out. I watched it one time. It's 30 minutes long, but I was like, yo, this is almost to the T, back to back. It's creepy. But go ahead.
And what's interesting is that there was an article, I think it was with People, some time ago, where it talked about where Amber was talking about how like all her friends knew that when she loves, like they would tell her future partners, you know, she can be angry and she can be, you know, basically a handful in relationships. But then she further went on to hold on, I had it. She had further gone on to talk about I can't remember where it was, but it was just really interesting, where I'm just like, I don't know if I believe this. I believe that she's flirty. I believe that she put this person in this situation. I'm wondering if there was some antagonizing, like, you know, look at me, you know, Johnny, look at us, blah, 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 and really instigating something. Now, whether he grabbed the person or not, it just seems so far-fetched. But I I don't know. I think that she brings people into these situations that are volatile and dangerous.
Yes, I really do think that too. But there are some pieces here that I want to point out real quick. Also, I did put the Gone Girl comparison video in the chat. Y'all need to don't leave yet. Don't you freaking leave yet. But you know, when we get done here, which we'll be wrapping up here very, very soon. But when we get done here, go check it out. It's mind-blowing how alike this is. But there are some things here that I want to point out. Aside from her maybe making these things up, she might be, she might not be. But how does she remember this so vividly? Like word for word, this line. This line is she says it again later. Like that's his main thing that he says to any woman, basically saying, do you know how many pounds of pressure it takes to break a wrist? That's a little weird. It's very precise for someone to use that twice in a story during her testimony, because she did not just do once, she did it 2 times, a lady. 2 times, man. 2 different stories. Drastically different stories. One on a plane and one out in Hicksville, USA. Tripping on shrooms and ecstasy or MDMA, whatever you call it. Okay? That doesn't make any sense. And then also, she's on shrooms, y'all. So you're telling me she just remembers all this verbatim? Verbatim? Then the other thing I want to say this too. Everybody's hanging out. From the way it seems like they're out hanging out together. All together. Where are the other witnesses? Are there any other people that were around that saw the altercation? Maybe went up to Johnny and said, Johnny, buddy. Yo, JD, chill. It's all good. Come on over here, man. Let's do some blow. Whatever it may be. Come on over here, buddy. Let's go and drink some beers. We got some Moscato over here. Whatever it is. Where are the other witnesses? Where? Okay, even better yet. Where's the girl? Where's this said girl that he went up, grabbed her arm, twisted it, and said, do you know how many pounds of pressure it takes to break a human wrist, or whatever the hell she just said? Where's her? So she can step up and go, yes, he said it to me. And then where's the flight attendant that was apparently getting all handsy and ooey gooey with her on the plane? And he said the same thing to her. Where she be at?
Mm-hmm. Someone just posted an interesting super chat about that line that I think that you might find interesting.
Oh, I'm going to get to it. I got so many super chats and I love it. Thank you so much, guys. Allison, Canadian $5. What do you think about Dr. Curry mentioning that AH, or that she has personality disorder, yet Dr. Dawn or Dr. Hughes said that was false, and that she actually has PTSD and depression? I didn't catch the depression part. I'm going to be really honest. Seemed like she gave her a clean bill of mental health, which was weird because her RN, which I've said a million times before, the RN basically said that she was bipolar, she was ADD, she had anxiety, she insomnia because of her anxiety and all this other stuff. The list of drugs, prescription pills that she would have to take, not only just for anxiety and her ADD, but also for her bipolar disorder. So I don't understand why she said, no, she's fine. That doesn't make sense to me. DJ Snaps, real quick, $5 super chat. Let's be honest, the huge growth in the SJW woke movement entertainment business has to be careful. Dave Chappelle couldn't make the Rick James skit. He wouldn't be able to make that skit today. He would not be able to make that skit today. Trust and believe. There'd be a totally different conversation. You know what I mean? We're in a different time now. We're in a totally different time now. And we need to protect our stand-up comedians, y'all. Charlie Miller, thank you so much. Amber Heard, aka Turd, parents are on Johnny's side. I've heard that rumor too. I don't know if that's entirely true or not. But I've heard that rumor. Let's see. Thank you, Dory, for the $2 super chat. Super chat. I drink your couch shake. Yes, that's what she looks like right now. Moving on to the next one. Hopefully, we're getting to the one that you said that I need to see. Hold on, I'm going through a lot of chats. Ivan Jr., thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Wealthy have unlimited access to drugs on demand. Cavity search lies. JD would get more very easily. Absolutely. He would just he would walk down and go, I'm Johnny Depp. Who got cocaine? And they would be like, oh my God, can I do a line with you? Come on now. Everybody and their mama would have been like, yo, man, I did lines with Captain Jack Sparrow, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody would have that story. Okay? Shoot. Trust. He even did a couple lines. Not the lines, but I mean, he did a couple lines from the movie. You know what I mean? William Wolford, sorry. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. The wrist snap, again, True Detective, Matthew McConaughey, he says this to the guy in Garage.
This is the one.
Now I need to look up Matthew McConaughey talking about snapping a wrist. Now I want to see it. If that's true, that would be mind-blowing. But real talk, she's taking it out. Like, is she really taking this from movies verbatim, or was Johnny Depp taking it from a movie verbatim? Something to think about. Let's see. Thank you, Local Trees, for the $2. Yes. They both are basura. Don't know
Trash.
what that's. Trash. Exactly. I appreciate that. Thank you for the translation too, Lady Justice. And Maloka. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Did you touch on the green folder where Doc had notes, and when they wanted to make copies, she gave them all. She gave them all sus. What? See, now, okay, so you're talking about the doctor not wanting to give her notes, I'm assuming? Because apparently she didn't want to give them anything, even after. Because they were like, we need that stuff so we can see it for ourselves, so on and so forth. Allegedly, she didn't want to give anything away. Allegedly. Now, so thank you so much for the $5 super chat, but that's from what I understand. From my understanding, that's the rumor that's in the rumor mill. Now, here's the thing. Back to this whole situation at Hicksville, USA. No one knew all this stuff was going on except for a friend that walks into the place when Johnny Depp loses his damn mind. Now, we got to go into this next piece. This is the part where Johnny Depp goes absolutely bonkers. But Local Trees, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Yes. Thank you. Support, love the content. Well, we love you. Okay? Local Trees. Now I know what basura means. I never knew what it meant, but now I know. Thank you so much. Now I know one other Spanish word. You know, ¿Dónde está mi pantalones, por favor? Basura. There we go. That made no sense. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up, okay?
Did you just ask where are my pants, please? Trash? What? What?
Oh, yes, I did. Okay, let's move on.
Huh?
Exactly.
And he kind of held her, and she just looked frozen. And she's crying, and was just denying understanding what was going on. I stepped in. I kind of take Johnny's arm around, kind of take Johnny's hand, and kind of we start communicating. I don't remember if he immediately was accusing me or if it was sometime after. I wish I remembered, but we agreed that we'd go and talk about it in the trailer. So we walked to the trailer, and when we're in the trailer, Johnny, by the time we get into the trailer, Johnny tells me that I had been instigating the, and asking for this, and that I had invited it, and that I hadn't been honest with him about my relationship with this woman. And I didn't really know her that well. I mean, I actually don't know her at all, but I had met her. And I remember in the trailer, he's accusing me of lying about it, and that that I had something with her. I'm trying to diffuse that. I'm trying to calm him down. And he just turned all that, it seemed like he turned all that rage onto the trailer itself. And he just started smashing things. He picked up something on the table and threw it right into the glass cabinet. He hit with his hand a wall sconce. He cleared the tabletop on the little fold down like kitchen dining room area in this trailer. I mean, it's a trailer, so there's only so much you can do. And he's screaming at me, just screaming at me. And I eventually go back into the bedroom area. He comes into the bedroom area. We had what I can only describe as it sounded like nonsense from him. It wasn't making sense. And I realized that he's just probably really high, because it wasn't making sense anymore. It wasn't like a direct accusation. He wasn't hearing me when I was saying I wasn't involved, wasn't cheating on him. I wasn't secretly trying to engage this woman in some sort of sexual affair. And then it became clear to me he was like looking for something. He cleared things off the bed. I went into the bathroom, and as I come out, he asked me where it is and how long I've been hiding it. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he says, you know what I'm fucking talking about. You know what I'm fucking talking about. Be honest with me. Where are you hiding it? And he kind of like makes to look into the bathroom. And I gestured to the bathroom, which was to my right. I kind of like gestured to him, and I said, like, what am I hiding, and where am I going to hide it? And we're standing in this little hallway area outside of the bathroom, and he starts, what it feels like patting me down, or saying he's patting me down. I can't recall, but he ripped my dress, the strap top part of my dress. I had just dyed this thing myself pink, and it's just one of those things. I was like, I just finished that dress. And he's like grabbing my breasts. He's touching my thighs. He rips my underwear off.
He's like, did I do that?
He's
like, really? This is new.
Proceeds to do a cavity search. He said he was looking for his drugs, his cocaine, his coke.
Turquoise.
I was wondering how somebody who didn't do cocaine and was against it, that was in and of itself causing problems in our relationship. How could I hide? Why would I hide his drugs from, like he was insinuating that I was doing it or something? It made no sense. And he was telling me we're gonna conduct a cavity search, shall we? Like, just shoved his fingers inside me.
Still very uncomfortable to hear that. I'm gonna be real.
Just stood there staring at the stupid light.
What light? She just sat there staring at the stupid light. Did I miss something? Some detail here? But you see what I'm saying about this detail. Like, why? Okay.
I think she's trying to paint the picture that she disassociated, that like he started this in on her, and that her focus was just the light. There was a light, and I was just staring at the effing light.
He stared at the window, or sorry, stared at this light, light fixture. Okay. Well, we heard that, and no matter what, it's still uncomfortable hearing it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's real or not, okay, it's still a weird thing to hear. It's hard to hear that. I'm gonna be real. It's hard to hear about the fingers and the so on and so forth. It's uncomfortable. I'll be real. It's uncomfortable. But go ahead. Say your piece.
I have a question before the cavity search.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's back to when she mentions that she didn't know who this woman was, right? Like, I didn't know who she was. I'm like, well, who knew who she was? Like, why was she there?
Thank you.
Like, if you've rented out this trailer park or this trailer, was it just like folks in the trailer park that you got together with? Like, I'm thinking like an RV park, like, and you might just meet people and just hang out with people. Or was this someone who came along with your crew? And then if you didn't know her, who knew her? And if you didn't know her, why are you allowing her all over you? And now this is what makes me recall from that the People article. I found it where she mentioned that she said, I always had a love life that seemed particularly salacious to some people. And so I think to myself, like, you're saying you don't know this person, but yet you're allowing this person to be all up on you. Like that is just weird to me. Like, and you said you didn't know her. So who knew her and why was she there?
Thank you. That's why I mean by where's this person? This could be a key witness to sit here and say, without a shadow of a doubt, this is what he did to me. He put his hands on me. Where's the other person that later on we're not done with the piece, but he walks in and he's like, whoa, bro, JD, you know what I mean? Where's that guy? You know what I mean? Coming in and saying, yes, I was there. And all this craziness went down, so on and so forth. None of these people have stepped forward. Why? What's going on here? Then also at the same time, okay, let me can I just say, I mean, I said it earlier, kind of thing, and some people were like, Pascal, you stupid. But let's just say this. What are the chances of him actually doing a search for the cocaine? What if he really was looking for the cocaine and he was upset? And maybe and if he really did wreck the place, what if he wrecked the place looking for the booger sugar? But she wanted to she added this stuff in there, the whole cavity search, and saying that he thought that, you know what I mean, to add more dramatics to it. What if there's partially some truth here where he literally was like, man, I need to straighten up. Maybe I'm getting really, really high. This whatever I'm on right now, whether he's on shrooms or MDMA, what if he was like, yo, I need something to straighten me out. Where's the blow? And he's trying to find the blow. And he's turning the whole place upside down, trying to find said blow. But then she adds this other crap to sit there and say, oh, to make it even more dramatic, to even kick it up even more a notch, he went inside of my body trying to find the blow. Because he thought that when I was in the bathroom, I went there and shoved it up my hoo-ha. Real talk. That's how she breaks it down. So what if him searching the place is really what happened? He was looking for it, but he never went anywhere near her body. That could very well be it. She's just adding things to make it more dramatic. Or maybe that's just how she remembers it, because the shrooms that she was on kicked in. I know that's a far-fetched idea, but she couldn't have made this entire thing up. You see what I'm saying? There's pieces of it that is true. Now, from my understanding, him wrecking the RV, from my understanding, because I saw it in the comments, that part is true. that he wrecked the RV. But what if all this other stuff is her just trying to put some sprinkles in a, and a little cherry on top to say, oh, and he did all this other stuff while he was in there losing his damn mind, trying to find the blow. I don't know. It's weird, but let's continue. We got a little bit left here, and then we're going to wrap this bad boy up.
I didn't know what to do. I just stood there. While he did that, he just twisted his fingers around. I didn't say like stop or anything.
So the next morning, what transpired?
I remember thinking that Johnny would change his mind. And it would be, I thought it would end differently. I kind of froze. I don't know how we went to bed that night. I don't know how I went to bed. I don't know how I slept. I don't know how we woke up. I don't remember having a conversation with him the next day. I don't remember
Shrooms.
Talking to him about it or confronting him about it. I remember wanting it to be okay. I remember just wanting whatever fucking weird trip, whatever trip that was to end, just to be over and for it to just go back to normal. And I remember my friends were out by the pool. Like there was a pool in the center of the trailer park, and I remember putting on my, just putting on my face and going back into this like crowd, and I remember seeing my friends by the pool thinking they were just having a great time, and no one knew what was, I felt so lonely. Like no one knows everyone was just having a good time, like normal stuff. So I just smiled and made a joke about how trashed the trailer got, and we had to get the manager, who started off furious that Johnny had wrecked the thing. And then he had this like black mesh not tank top, it was like a meshy kind of shirt on. And I remember he came into the trailer and looked around and was like, whoa, what happened here? Whoa. And Johnny had an exchange with him. And I remember watching this man be so charmed. It was just a kind of a surreal experience. And, it just went away. That just got fixed. We walked out of the trailer at some point. My dog stepped on a bee. We went to the vet and went on with our, vacation. We actually went to another location after that, and then eventually went home and went about our life.
Okay. Well, guys, somebody else has said in the chat, she obviously was trying to hide the blow for herself. That is no, and that's a good theory too. And maybe he was going crazy trying to get the blow because he was tripping hard, and maybe he wanted. I keep thinking maybe he was just trying to straighten himself out. Like, not saying that that's the only excuse. Maybe he just was enraged or losing his mind or whatever it was, and was like, I just need some, whatever. He was just used to doing some blow, so he just wanted some blow. That could very well be it too. But at the same time, the whole body cavity search thing, to me, it's just a stretch. It's a stretch.
Can I add? So maybe I missed something. I just want to understand. So the trailer was trashed the next day. I don't recall. Did she mention if it was trashed? Well, when she went back into the trailer when this incident occurred, because like that. So here's my thing. If it wasn't mentioned, because I don't recall that being mentioned, that the trailer was already trashed when she had gone in there and then he had followed her, And then she says, I don't remember, how I went to bed, if we went to bed, if we talked, if we did this, if we did that. I mean, what if they were both just tripping balls and
Yeah.
trash together, and neither one of them remembers what happened? But
Exactly.
once again, Amber has demonstrated that she has a hard time being accountable for even her behaviors. And I'm not saying that she's responsible if this happened to her. I'm not saying she's responsible for that. I'm saying in general, the way she tells stories, she's never responsible. Like she's never had her hand in any of this. But I was just curious as what the trailer looked like when this incident happened, because now you're saying you don't recall at all what happened after that. Well, how do you not know that the shroom didn't kick in and y'all were both tripping off whatever and messed this trailer up, or had a fight, or it got worse? Or if you were the one who trashed it, and when he woke up, the one thing she did say he said was, whoa, how did this happen? Like, we know that he
Right.
doesn't recall what happened at all. And all she claims is he trashed the trailer, but that's never really elucidated on. We don't know how it happened, or when it happened, or what she saw. And she just owns right now, after that incident, she doesn't know what happened at that point.
No doubt. That's a good point, that she just like said, oh, it obviously was him. You know what I mean? And then just created some lie to try to cover her own ass. And that could very well be it too, that she's just making something up, because clearly it wouldn't be her that would trip balls and lose her mind. Obviously it's Johnny Depp. That's a very rock star thing to do. Go to a hotel room and rip it apart because, hey, you can afford it. You're a rock star. That's what rock stars do. Go to an RV or a trailer, whatever it is, and wreck it up. Because, hey, he's Johnny Depp. He makes hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Man, he could pay this. This is nothing. This is fun coupons. It's fun. Yay. We can afford it. So we'll just destroy it. Woo. You know what I'm saying? So I could definitely see that idea. I could see that theory big time. They're tripping balls. The next morning, he's like, what the hell happened? And she's just going, well, you did this to me. What? What did I do? No, I didn't do that. Yes, you did. What do you do then? I'm sorry, babe. I was really high. I'm really sorry. I guess I really needed that blow. Sorry. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? And then you say, I'll never do that again. Oh my God, I'm taking myself to rehab. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like that's kind of one of the ongoing patterns in this relationship. Things go awry. They tie one on a little too hard. And then they go, oh my damn, what did I do? Actually, he does that. She doesn't. She takes photos and makes up stories to justify her actions as well, and puts all the blame on him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really, 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 really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes her look sketchy as hell, because you're telling me she sits there and says, I don't do blow. I don't like blow. Come on, stop lying. You know for a fact that, oh my God, I can't wait. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let's say this. Maybe at the time she didn't do cocaine, right? Like, let's just say she didn't do it. At the end of the day, like, you're talking about doing MDMA and shrooms. Like, you're both taking drugs.
Drugs
like,
is drugs.
Drugs is drugs, and you're both drinking. Like, that in itself is just, it could be, if you're on a bad trip, it could be catastrophic. I'm just saying that it just seems just really hypocritical to judge someone for their behaviors whilst you do drugs. Like, it doesn't make sense. Whether some people say, well, this one's better than this one, or this one's not as bad. Like, it doesn't matter. You're still doing an illicit substance that you shouldn't have been doing legally. Both of you.
Thank you.
Period.
Thank you. And that's the thing. So they are both in the wrong for those kinds of things off the bat. And she shouldn't be pointing all that blame just on Johnny. There's the responsibility on both sides. But like I was about to say, I cannot wait for Team Johnny to come up, and I think tomorrow's going to be fascinating as hell. If we even get a chance to get to that, I'm sure we will because we had a good portion today. But they still are at like the top of their relationship. They haven't gotten to Australia. You know, they haven't gotten to the finger. They haven't gotten to Poopgate. They haven't gotten to well, they tapped on James Franco. Well, no, they didn't. And they didn't with her. They still need to talk about James Franco. They still need to talk about Elon Musk with his Musk. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff they still need to cover on just Team Heard side. And then we got to listen to all of the stuff from Johnny Depp's side too. So it's going to be a very fascinating day tomorrow. And it's going to be wild. Lady Justice, thank you so much for being on with me. I really do appreciate it, sweetheart.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this.
It's never a dull moment, ain't it though?
Never.
Ain't it though? But hey guys, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who came on. Lady Justice, thank you so much for being on again. It's been a blessing. Real quick, if you guys can do me that small favor, go and hit that like button down below. We're working hard out here in these streets. We've been up here. It's past midnight for me and Lady Justice right now. Real talk, we tired and we still got to get up, or at least I do. Got to get up and watch this ish all over again and see her lies and some of her truths. There will be truths in there. Just you wait and see. So please hit that subscribe button. Please support this channel. Hit that join button down below. Hey, I also got that Patreon, patreon.com/the Pascal Show. Go over there, support it. Hey, I got that CashApp, man. You know what I mean? I got that CashApp. So go check it out. Support. It'd be really appreciated. And of course, I got the merch. Go check out my merch store. Link is down below. Anyway, I appreciate all y'all for being on. You guys have been amazing. Again, Lady Justice, this is my girl. I miss having you on. Felt good to it feels so good to be home, baby. Feels so good. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all. We will be doing something like this tomorrow. I don't know if Lady Justice got time, but hopefully we will talk about it. But we will do something most likely like this tomorrow evening around this same time to chop it up with you guys. Well, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, not midnight. But we will be on to chop it up with you guys and do a little bit of a recap. So I appreciate all y'all for being on. You guys are incredible. It's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to do this all over again. Yeah. But the plot thickens. Oh, but the plot thickens. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.